The arrival of Europeans in the Americas marked a monumental turning point in history, forever altering the course of both continents. It was a dramatic clash of worlds, each with its own distinct cultures, beliefs, and ways of life, leading to a profound and often tumultuous exchange. For Native Americans, the land was sacred, a source of sustenance, spirituality, and deep-rooted traditions passed down through generations. European settlers, driven by dreams of untold riches and new opportunities, saw the vast, uncharted territories as ripe for the taking, a new world to conquer and cultivate. Initial encounters were often marked by a mix of curiosity and cautious exploration, as both sides sought to understand the other. Native Americans, with their established societies and profound knowledge of the land, observed these newcomers with a complex mix of wonder, apprehension, and skepticism. Language barriers presented immediate challenges, yet communication through gestures and rudimentary signed language facilitated early interactions, paving the way for initial exchanges. The exchange of goods soon followed, laying the groundwork for more complex relationships to develop, as both sides began to see the potential benefits of cooperation. While the allure of the unknown fueled European expansion, it was often met with resistance and resilience from the indigenous populations who sought to protect their way of life. The arrival of these newcomers, with their unfamiliar customs and insatiable appetite for land, signaled a profound disruption to the established order and harmony of Native American life. The stage was set for a complex interplay of cooperation and conflict, shaping the destiny of both cultures for centuries to come as they navigated the challenges and opportunities of this new, shared world. In the early years of contact, the relationship between Native Americans and European settlers was often characterized by a degree of mutual benefit and exchange. These interactions were not just about survival, but also about curiosity and learning from one another. Trade emerged as a cornerstone of their interactions, driven by the desire for goods each group possessed. The settlers were eager to obtain furs and other natural resources, while Native Americans sought new tools and materials. Native Americans, skilled hunters and trappers, traded furs and animal hides in exchange for European tools, weapons, and textiles. This trade was crucial for both parties, as it provided essential resources that were otherwise unavailable. This exchange of goods extended beyond mere material possessions. It was a bridge that connected two vastly different cultures, allowing them to share and learn from each other. It facilitated a sharing of knowledge and customs, albeit often unequal and fraught with misunderstandings. The settlers were introduced to new ways of living and surviving in the New World. Native Americans taught European settlers vital survival skills, how to cultivate native crops, navigate the intricate waterways, and hunt game in the unfamiliar terrain. These skills were indispensable for the settlers who were unfamiliar with the land. This exchange of knowledge proved essential for the survival of the early colonists, who relied heavily on the expertise of their indigenous counterparts. Without this guidance, many settlers would have struggled to survive. European influence, however, began to permeate Native American societies. The introduction of new goods brought about significant changes in their daily lives and traditional practices. The introduction of European goods, particularly metal tools and firearms, gradually altered traditional practices. These new tools made certain tasks easier, but also started to change the social dynamics within native communities. This dependence on European goods, while seemingly beneficial in the short term, sowed the seeds of future conflicts. As Native Americans became more reliant on these goods, tensions began to rise. The delicate balance of power began to shift as Europeans gained a stronger foothold, their ambitions for land and resources growing with each passing season. This expansion often led to disputes and conflicts over land, fundamentally altering the relationship between the two groups. The harsh realities of the American wilderness, particularly the unforgiving winters, often forced Native Americans and European settlers into unlikely alliances. The first winter endured by the Pilgrims at Plymouth, Massachusetts, stands as a testament to the life-saving assistance provided by the local Wampanoag tribe. Their knowledge of agriculture and willingness to share vital resources proved indispensable to the struggling colony's survival. These acts of kindness and cooperation were not uncommon. Across the eastern seaboard, Native American tribes often provided food, shelter, and guidance to European settlers during times of hardship. These alliances, forged in the face of adversity, demonstrated the capacity for compassion and understanding that existed between these disparate cultures. Yet these acts of generosity were often met with a mixture of gratitude and suspicion. European settlers, raised in a world shaped by colonialism and notions of cultural superiority, struggled to reconcile their dependence on Native American assistance with their own ambitions for dominance. The seeds of distrust, sown in these early encounters, would eventually blossom into open conflict as competition for land and resources intensified. The complex and often contradictory nature of early Native American and European relations is embodied in the stories of two iconic figures, Squanto and Pocahontas. Their lives, marked by both cooperation and conflict, reflect the broader narrative of cultural exchange and misunderstanding that defined this era. Their lives, intertwined with the fate of both cultures, serve as powerful reminders of the potential for cooperation and the tragedy of misunderstanding. Through their unique experiences, we gain insight into the delicate balance of diplomacy and the harsh realities of colonial expansion. Squanto, a Patuxet man who had been abducted by English traders and later returned to his homeland, played a pivotal role in the survival of the Plymouth colony. His journey from captivity to becoming a crucial ally to the Pilgrims is a testament to his resilience and adaptability. His fluency in English and intimate knowledge of the land made him an invaluable intermediary, facilitating communication and fostering a fragile peace between the Wampanoag and the Pilgrims. Squanto's efforts in teaching the Pilgrims essential agricultural techniques such as planting corn and fishing were vital for their survival in the New World. Pocahontas, the daughter of Chief Powhatan, became a symbol of diplomacy and cultural exchange. Her interactions with the English settlers were pivotal in establishing early relations between the two groups. Her legendary intervention in the life of Captain John Smith, whether rooted in historical fact or romanticized legend, captured the imagination of generations. This act of bravery and compassion has been retold countless times, symbolizing the potential for understanding and cooperation. Her later marriage to John Rolfe and journey to England highlighted the potential for peaceful coexistence between their peoples. This union was seen as a bridge between two worlds, offering a glimpse of what could be achieved through mutual respect and alliance. However, the stories of Squanto and Pocahontas also underscore the fragility of these early alliances. Despite their efforts, the underlying tensions and differing worldviews often led to conflict and broken promises. Squanto's tragic death, caught between the conflicting interests of his own people and the encroaching English settlers, highlighted the growing tensions over land and autonomy. His passing marked the end of a significant chapter in the early history of Native American and European relations. Pocahontas' untimely death, far from her homeland, served as a stark reminder of the cultural chasm that separated these two worlds. Her story, like Squanto's, is a poignant reflection of the complexities and challenges faced by those who stood at the crossroads of two vastly different cultures.